Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to AHTV, Aortic Hope's YouTube channel. I'm Molly Thomas, bringing you the Week in Review. This week's Week in Review is sponsored by Cook Medical, Edwards Life Sciences, and Heart Valve Voice. We thank them so much for their support and sponsorship. If you'd like to learn more about these three wonderful companies, check out their bio on our website. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that we can spread awareness for aortic disease. Right, it's a Movement for Movement Monday. Your body hears I still showed up. And even though these temperatures here this summer are so hot and it's hard to get outside and get some movement in, there's still some things that you can do to stay moving and busy. You can stay inside, do household chores, clean closets, vacuum, anything that you're able to do and that you've discussed with your doctor, do it. Every little bit of movement counts. Today's movement doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Your body notices every time you choose to show up. And just remember that movement may feel different in the heat. Rising temperatures can impact hydration, blood pressure, and how some medications affect your body. Don't forget to drink water throughout the day, move during cooler hours or evening hours, and pay attention to little signs like dizziness, fatigue, or overheating. All right, our month of July, we focused on genetics, and this is our genetic recap for July. If you missed it, otherwise go on back and check out our blog for our Medical Mondays and Topic Tuesdays. So over the past several weeks, we've explored how our genes can play a role in aortic disease. Understanding these connections can help patients and families recognize risks earlier, receive appropriate monitoring, and take steps to protect their health. So, why do genes matter in aortic disease? Our bodies are built with a complex support system called connective tissue. And connective tissue helps give strength and structure to many parts of the body, including the heart, blood vessels, skin, joints, and bones. The aorta depends on strong, healthy tissue to handle the pressure of blood flowing through it every second of every day. When certain genes affect how connective tissue or blood vessels are built, the aorta may become more vulnerable to stretching, enlargement, aneurysms, or dissection. Some genetic conditions connected to aortic disease that we reviewed this month include Marfan syndrome, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, Loeys-Dietz syndrome, Turner syndrome, and bicuspid aortic valve associated aortopathy. Although each condition is different, they all remind us why awareness and early care matter. So let's go through each one real quick. Marfan syndrome is one of the best known inherited conditions associated with aortic disease. It's caused by changes in a gene called the FBN1, which affects the body's connective tissue. Marfans can affect many body systems, including the eyes, bones, joints, and heart. The biggest concern for many people with Marfan syndrome is the aorta. Over time, the aortic wall may become weaker and enlarge, increasing the risk of an aortic dissection. Some people with Marfan may have features such as being tall with longer arms, legs, fingers, or toes, more flexible joints, spine or chest differences, eye problems, or simply an enlargement of the aorta. However, it doesn't look the same for everyone. Some people may have only a few signs, which is why genetic testing and regular heart imaging can be so important. With proper monitoring, medications when needed, and expert care, many people with Marfan syndrome live long, active, and fulfilling lives. With Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS, it is a group of conditions that affect connective tissue. Many people know EDS because of flexible joints or stretchy skin, but certain forms can also affect the blood vessels. The type most closely linked with serious vascular concerns is vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or VEDS. In VEDS, changes in the COL3A1 gene can make blood vessels more fragile. This can increase the risk of complications such as aneurysms, dissections, or tears in blood vessels. Because these complications can happen at younger ages, recognizing the condition early is important. Genetic testing, family history, and regular monitoring can help patients and families better understand their risks and create a plan for care. Loeys-Dietz syndrome, or LDS, is another inherited condition that can affect the aorta. People with LDS may have changes in genes that help control how connective tissue develops and functions. These changes can increase the risk of aortic enlargement and dissection. Some signs that may lead doctors to consider LDS include a family history of aneurysm or dissection, aortic enlargement at a younger age, certain differences in the bones, joints, or facial features, and abnormalities of blood vessels. One of the most valuable parts of receiving a diagnosis is that it allows families to take action. Genetic testing can help identify relatives who may also need screening and monitoring. All right, bicuspid aortic valve, also known as BAV. It's one of the most common heart conditions people are born with. Instead of having 3 valve leaflets, the aortic valve develops with 2. For some people, the concern goes beyond the valve itself. The aorta may also be affected, a condition known as bicuspid aortopathy. Over time, changes in the aortic wall and the way blood flows through the valve can contribute to the enlargement of the aorta. Because these changes often happen silently, regular imaging is important. Many people with bicuspid aortic valve remain healthy for years because their condition is identified and monitored before complications develop. Turner syndrome is a genetic condition caused by changes involving one of the X chromosomes. While Turner syndrome can affect many areas of health, it's especially important to monitor the heart and aorta. People with Turner syndrome have a higher chance of having a bicuspid aortic valve, narrowing or enlargement of the aorta, and increased risk of dissection. Regular heart imaging and follow-up with healthcare providers are important parts of lifelong care. Okay, this is a lot of genetics involving the aorta and connective tissue. Learning that you or a loved one has a genetic condition can feel overwhelming, but today we have more tools than ever before to help people live with these conditions. Genetic testing, advanced imaging, medication, surgery, and specialized care teams have changed the future for many patients with aortic disease. When one person is diagnosed with a genetic aortic condition, family members may benefit from genetic counseling, testing, or heart imaging. Finding risk early can give families the opportunity to monitor, prepare, and prevent emergencies. So this recap of our July Genetics series was brought to you by our med student, Kiana Zahiri. Thank you so much, Kiana. That's really great information to have. So we're going to move. This is a quick weekend review here. We're just moving straight to Saturday. We have a brand new Survivor series for you featuring Riley Price. So here he is pictured here with his wife and beautiful family, his daughter, and he gives a incredible account of his story with aortic aneurysm and valve repair. So check out his story. It's right here in the body of text. And we're really happy he found us. He's just about 3 months out from his surgery. He's doing well, and he's one of our newest members of Aortic Hope. And I believe he found us on TV. Karen and Terry recently were on a CBS News segment, and I believe that's where he found us. And he came right on over and submitted his story, and we're so grateful to hear his story and that he's doing so well. And we'd like to welcome you, Riley, to the Aortic Hope community. Thank you for being here and sharing your story. And if you too would like to share your story, please sign up to our Survivor series. Or if you've already submitted yours before, sign up again and tell us where you are now and how you're doing now, years after your event. All right. Yep. Okay, moving on. Our events this week, we have the Caregiver Connection was on Saturday. Our support groups here are listed under the events tab on the top up here. And today at 7 p.m. Eastern time, our own Karen Anderson is doing a Q&A with Dr. Goreshi, talking about all things aortic valve disease. It should be great. These Q&As are so informative and so interesting, and we're so grateful to have these medical professionals come to Aortic Hope and impart all their great wisdom about aortic disease. So look forward to that. Tune into AHTV at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then tomorrow, Tuesday the 4th, we have aortic, one of our support groups, and that's the 12 noon Eastern time, followed by a caregiver, and I believe a Canadian support group on Wednesday. And then following Sunday, we have another Qigong with Kevin Songer. Check our events page and our Facebook page for the events coming up, and you don't want to miss them. And if you have not seen already in our Hope Shops, we have new t-shirts. We have some new stuff. And they're pretty cool. They're pretty fun. There's something here for everyone. Look at that. Ask me about my aorta. That's kind of fancy, but it's catchy. And ask me about my aorta. I mean, you put that t-shirt on, someone's going to ask you about your aorta. So have something ready to say to them, because the aorta is getting a lot of buzz in the media lately with some notable people having unfortunate aortic dissections and such. So yeah, beef up on your knowledge about your aorta. Wear one of these t-shirts or hats and spread aortic disease awareness, because awareness saves aortas, period. All right, I wrapped it up real quickly here. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because that will help spread the awareness to the far reaches of everyone and to families who need it. And don't forget to think aorta, think family. And thank you to Edwards Life Sciences, Heart Valve Voice, and Cook Medical for sponsoring this week's Week in Review. Thank you so much and have a great day.